Hey everybody, happy Mother's Day weekend. This is historically our busiest weekend of the year, and we will sell hundreds of annual hanging baskets and pre-planted containers, and they're going to be going to moms all over the region, and they're going to be bringing here lots of color and lots of joy all through the season. So they're really a great gift to give, but I do want to offer you an alternate suggestion, and that is spring blooming flowering shrubs, because these are kind of the overlooked gift that you can give in the springtime. So the nice thing about this is there's an element of surprise. So she's going to enjoy it when you give it to her now. She's going to have a nice leafy shrub throughout the rest of the season. And then next spring, when we're just getting past those bleak, dark days of winter, she's going to get a nice big surprise with lots of color with some of these plants here. So I'm going to show you the ones that are blooming right now and give you some suggestions of ones that I think might be good, especially if you're in a northern climate like us where these spring blooming plants are just starting to bloom. So when you see this display, of course, your eye goes immediately to the beautiful pink flowers of the rhododendron. And rhododendrons oftentimes don't do well in our area, but some of the new varieties, like this Black Hat variety from Proven Winners, has proven to be really successful with our cold winters. It's a great one for pollinators. In fact, if we step back, you'll probably see some bees. There's one right in there. I don't know, oh, he's faster than I am. Anyway, these are really great plants because they are semi-evergreen. So these leaves are the same leaves that were here in this last fall. They last through the winter, and then they start to flower. And then as they're finishing up flowering, they start sending up their new growth. So they're just fantastic because they're really well known for that heavy flower coverage, and that's the case with rhododendrons in general. These, though, in particular, do exceptional in our area. Now, the other great spring bloomer, of course, is the lilac, and we have a really unusual one here. Let me spin it around for you. This one here is a petite variety, and it gets only, let's say it says 3 to 4 feet tall, 3 to 4 feet wide, and that's significant because I think we've all seen grandma's lilac tree, and it's usually 10, 12, 15 feet tall. This one stays nice and small, so it can fit into a lot of places that other lilacs can't. Now we have a lot of the other traditional lilacs as well, and there's also like some lighter ones and some redder ones, so there's a lot of variety. Look at the nice kind of striping and color on this one here. This one is called, sorry, I don't have them all memorized. I'm going to look at the tag. This one is called Purple Glory. So there's more as well. So I just wanted to show you those. The other one is going to be some of the azaleas. We don't have any blooming quite yet, but they're very similar to the rhododendron. And there's a couple of colors. So you can see these are kind of getting ready. So we're starting to see some of the flower action. Ooh, look at this. He is really happy right now, that bumblebee. So another really good one over here. It's just getting ready to bloom. This is a mock orange, and mock oranges, the fragrance on these is exceptional. So this is one that you get beautiful, pure white flowers, and then you get that fragrance that is just nonstop. Other one that a lot of moms are familiar with is the Viburnum common snowball bush. Now, a lot of people mistake viburnum for hydrangeas. They are not. They just bloom in the spring. So these, they start out this kind of green color, but they will get bigger and whiter as we get, in the next couple weeks, and they have beautiful, snowball flowers on them. So this is one that a lot of people think about. The nice thing about this is it gives you that beautiful white color now, and then it kind of finishes up right around the time your hydrangeas start to leaf out and look good. Other plants that you can consider are things like this. This is a flowering almond, so has these nice double blossoms. The variety is called, that's just called a pink flowering almond. So this is kind of one of the standard fare ones. So absolutely beautiful. Some of the other varieties that you can consider are going to be things like dogwoods will be blooming now, crab apples also, and your flowering plums, and peaches and apricot trees. All those will also give you some flowers at this time. There's plenty of other ones. I think we have a yellow magnolia that's starting to bloom in the yard too. I should go walk over there and give you a peek at that. I don't think the flowers have opened yet. So let me head over there and check it out. Oh, look at the bees. There's just tons of them on here. So it's great to know that we're giving them a little snack right now. So here it is, the elusive yellow magnolia, and I call it elusive because it is one of those plants that we have a really hard time getting. It's only available every couple years, and whenever it is available, we do jump at it and order it, and they sell quickly. And the nice thing about this hasn't actually flowered yet, so this is just kind of the exterior kind of buds here, but as far as its color goes, it is a true yellow. A lot of times in the springtime, things that they call yellow for flowering shrubs and trees are actually more of a creamy color. This one is actually a proper yellow. It's absolutely beautiful. The flowers get bigger. I wish I could show you what they look like when they are in full bloom, and maybe I can post some photos later on, but this is just a real beauty. This one here is a serviceberry, and they get these beautiful white blooms in the springtime, and they're really a reliable bloomer. And then they do produce berries, and the berries, we also call them Saskatoons, and those berries are edible. Now, they look a little bit like a blueberry. They taste somewhat like a blueberry. They're not quite as sweet. They have a little different texture than they do. So they are usually better more in jams or if you're mixing them in with stuff. But a lot of people do like them just plain. And then the other thing that I love about serviceberries is that these leaves are going to turn some of the most beautiful colors in the fall. So you get a really multi-season interest in this one. So you're going to go from flowers to berries to colorful leaves all in one season. So this is one that just kind of keeps going. There's serviceberries in a lot of different sizes and styles. So when you're looking at them, make sure you just check the tags. But some of the most traditional ones are sometimes some of the best ones. The other good news about a lot of these flowering shrubs is that they're pretty low maintenance. They don't require a lot of pruning. You're just going to prune them for shape. And the important thing about pruning is that you only prune them right after they flower. You don't want to do any pruning in the fall. You don't want to do any pruning before they bloom, because these are plants that they produce their flowers and then they produce their leaves, and then they spend the whole summer getting those buds for next season produced, and they kind of stay nice and tight. They go dormant for the winter, and as soon as the weather starts to change, they burst open. So if you cut anything in the fall, you're cutting off flowers. So you don't want to do that at all. So again, any of these spring bloomers, do not do any pruning on them except for right after they flower. And even then, most of them don't require much at all. You just give them your regular fertilizer, and they tend to do really great. And again, they're such a great surprise in the springtime, because we're not thinking about flowering shrubs at that time. And it's great. Now, if you live in a more southern kind of climate and you're saying, hey, our lilacs and rhododendrons, they're come and gone already. Well, what I'd recommend right now, if you're looking for a Mother's Day gift, drive around your yard and see what's in bloom, because whatever's in bloom right now will probably be in bloom around this time next year too. So that's another good way if you want to have something that's going to bloom right around this time so that Mom does think of you every year. That's a good way to do it.